Okay, welcome to 2.1. Solve the equation. Number 1, negative 3x plus 4 is equal to negative 1. Again, this is just basic algebra 1. Negative 3x equals negative 5 divided by the negative 3. Negative over negative is a positive. That's 5/3. All right. Number 3. Excuse me. 4x minus 3. Here you have variables on both sides of the equal sign. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides, and I get 9x minus 3 equals 6, and it's a two-step equation after that. Opposite operation, 9x equals 9. Divide off the 9, x equals 1. Number 5. Distribution on both sides of the equal sign. So 8y plus 20 equals 15y minus 6. So I'm going to subtract 15y just because I like to put my variables on the left side. That's negative 7y plus 20 equals negative 6. Don't forget the minus sign. It doesn't disappear. Subtract 20, and you get negative 7y equals negative 26. Divide off the negative 7. Negative over negative is positive. So 26/7 is the answer. All right, so let's do number 7. Let's see, 7. Now you have fractions on both sides of the equal sign. So I'm going to add 2/7 to this side. So you got to take 1/5 plus 2/7, get a common denominator. Let's do something else instead. You could do it this way, but I want to make sure you understand that you could go ahead and just get rid of your fractions. So I like to do this as an example. What does 7 and 5 both go into? 35. So if I multiplied everything by 35, I would remove my fractions. Now you can do it the way I was doing it just a second ago, but watch what happens. 35 times 1 is 35, divided by 5 is 7. And then 30 times 4 is 120, 5 times 4 is 20, so that's 140. And 35 times 5, 5 times 30 is 150, 5 times 5 is 25, so that's 175. You don't need your calculator, use your brain. And 35 divided by 7 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10. And now you can do it like that, but you can do it the other way. So I'm going to add 10x to the left, and I get 17x plus 140 equals 175. Subtract 140, and you get 17x equals 35. Divide off the 17, and your answer is 35/17. And you're done. All right, let's do number 9. Now you have decimals. Again, oops, that's 3x. No, it's 3 plus 2x. Plus 1.2x equals 3.2. Now you could just solve it like you normally do, distribute the decimal, blah, 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 use your calculator. But I'm going to show you again something else to do. Let's multiply by 10. There's only one decimal place to the right, one number to the right of the decimal. So if we multiply by 10 everywhere, that's going to get rid of the decimal. So if I multiply by 10 on that term, remember, that's one term, 10 here and 10 there. This becomes 3 times 3 plus 2x. This becomes 12x, and that becomes 32. So again, you can leave the decimal and solve it, or you can learn how to remove things and change things. All right, so distribute 9 plus 6x plus 12x equals 32. That's 18x plus 9 equals 32. Subtract 9. Wow. And 18x equals 23. Divide by 18. And yes, welcome to fractions class. 23/18. And that's your answer. All right, let's go on to number 11. Number 11 is 3 plus 5x over 5. And 4 minus x over 8. All right, so now we have mixed fractions or complex fractions. Again, if you just have two fractions set equal to each other like this, you could cross multiply and be done. I'm going to do it a different way just to show you different things. I'm going to, you could separate each fraction or multiply by a common denominator on both sides. If I multiply by 40 on both sides, what happens is the decimal or the denominators go away. So 40 divided by 5 is 8, and then we distribute the 8 through. So 24 plus 40x. 40 divided by 8 is 5, so we distribute the 5 through. That's 20 minus 5x. So there's lots of different ways to do it. You will get the same answer no matter what you do. So I'm going to add 5x to the left just because I keep liking my variables on the left side. I'm going to subtract 24 to the right, and that's negative 4. All right, divide by 45. Oops, let's see here. Okay, so divide by 45, and your x equals negative 4/45. Number 13. 13 plus 2x over 4x plus 1. Now we have a variable in both sides, or top and bottom. At this point, we're not going to multiply by a common denominator, though you could. The common denominator would be 4 times 4x plus 1, which is how we learned how to add fractions. Let's cross multiply on this one. Let's cross multiply here and there. So what you should have is 3 times 4x plus 1. And that's equal to 4 times 13 plus 2x. Again, you have to be fairly good at all of these to recognize what you should do first. Either we could have done anything here, any of the different ways to solve these. You're going to get the same answer, but this one seems to be easier. So let's do 12x plus 3 and 52x, not 52x, 52 plus 8x. Now subtract 8x, and we get 4x plus 3 equals 52. Subtract 3, and we get 4x equals 49 divided by 4. And 49/4 is the answer. Next question. Number 15. 6 minus 5 over x equals 4 plus 3 over x. All right, so here's how I look at all of these, 11, 13, and 15, and even number 9. I look to see if I have a variable in my denominator, if there's complex fractions, or if there's, individual terms. Like this one has individual terms. On number 13, cross multiplication was better. On number 11, you could have cross multiplied there, and that would have been fine too. Multiplying by a common denominator on number 9, that's another way. You could multiply by a common denominator here, which is x, and that changes things. Again, it'll work. What I will do on this one is I want to multiply everything by the common denominator. You could get a common denominator, add fractions, and keep going from there, but we need to get the x out of the denominator. So how you do that is multiplying by whatever the denominator is. So we're going to multiply everything by x, and the x's will reduce in the terms that have the x's in them. So what are we left with? 6x minus 5 and 4x plus 3. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the value of the problem. But now your fractions are gone. A very useful tool to have. So add 5, and 2x equals 8. Divide off the 2, x equals 4. Look at all the repetition that there is at solving algebra problems. It's the first few steps that you have to do, and many times you have lots of different tools and ways to solve them. We've got to get better at that. So let's go on. Number 17. Now we're introducing exponents. Okay, so again, we can't really do anything here other than distribution and figure out what that is. So 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2 and x minus 5 times 9x plus 4. So, because we got to get x by itself somehow, so you got to get rid of the parentheses. To remove parentheses, you distribute. So this is going to be 9x squared. Minus 6x and minus 6x is 12x. And then you have plus 4. And over here we have 9x squared plus 4x minus 45x and minus 20. All right. These two will go together and give me negative 41x. So if I subtract 9x squared, the x squareds go away. So I have negative 12x plus 4 equals negative 41x minus 20. Add 41x to the left, and I get 29x plus 4 equals negative 20. Don't drop the subtraction sign. And subtract 4. 29x equals negative 24. And then we divide off the 29. And negative 24 29ths is the answer. Number 19. Again, the same type of thing. 4x minus 7 times 2x plus 3. Go ahead and figure that out. Minus the 8x times x minus 4. Everything's on one side here, so we're just distributing and solving for x. So that's 8x squared plus 12x minus 14x minus 21. And here we have minus 8x squared. And the next one is important. Do you know what that's going to be? You should put down plus 32x. The minus sign is on the 8. All right, so rewrite 8x squared minus 8x squared. That's gone. 12x minus 14x is negative 2x. And we have a positive 32x, so that makes positive 30x. Those are gone. And we have a minus 21 left over. Add 21 and solve. Divide off 30. And 21/30 is your answer. 21. 3x plus 1 over 6x minus 2 equals 2x plus 5 over 4x minus 13. Okay, so here there's two fractions. We cross multiply. So 3x plus 1 times 4x minus 13. And then the other side, 6x minus 2 times 2x plus 5. So you have to recognize when you can cross multiply and when you can't. Only when there's two fractions, one on the left and one on the right. If you have multiple terms, you can't do it. Now we do what we've been doing. Distribute and solve. 12x squared minus 39x plus 4x minus 13 equals 12x squared plus 30x minus 4x minus 10. So 12x squared, and this right here is minus 35x minus 13. 12x squared plus 26x minus 10. Subtract 12x squared, and we get, those are gone. Negative 35x minus 13 equals 26x minus 10. So subtract 26x. You could have gone the other way if you wanted to. I just like my x's on the left. That's minus 61x minus 13 equals negative 10. Again, do not drop the subtraction sign. Add 13. Wow, 13. And we get negative 61x equals 3. Divide off the negative 61, so x equals negative 3 over 61. That's the answer. All right, number 23. All right, number 23. You have 2/5 plus 4 over 10x plus 5. Hint equals 7 over 2x plus 1. 10x plus 5 can be factored. Remember, you're adding fractions here, and it's they're not two fractions set equal to each other, so you can't cross multiply. So you got to get a common denominator. Well, what are all the factors that we have? We have 5, we have 2x plus 1, and we have 10x plus 5. But 10x plus 5, if we factor out a 5, you get 2x plus 1. Now, all of a sudden, our only factors are 5 and 2x plus 1. So if that's our common denominator, and I take the whole thing and multiply by a common denominator, okay, if I multiply the whole thing by a common denominator, this whole thing, by 5 and 2x plus 1. That's the common denominator, okay? All the denominators are going to go away, and what's left over? So on the first one, if we multiply it by 5 times 2x plus 1, the 5's will cancel, and we get 2 times 2x plus 1. On the second one, the whole denominator reduces out, and you just have 4. And on the right side, the 2x plus 1's will reduce, and you have 5 times 7. So distribute 4x plus 2 plus 4 equals 35. 4x plus 6 equals 35. Subtract 6. 4x equals 29 divided by 4. And you get 29/4 for your answer. All right. 25. And what I see here is the denominators that can be factored. And again, you have multiple fractions. So you're going to have to multiply, or to get fractions added together, you got to get a common denominator. So again, the reason we're doing all these is so you get faster at them. I'm going to go ahead and factor the 2 out, and you get x minus 2. Factor the 3 out, and you get what? Hey, x minus 2, look at that. And we have 3 over 5. So what is our common denominator that we're going to multiply everything by? If we multiply everything by this, by the common denominator, your denominators are gone. So I'll write a little bit differently here. I'll write in blue what we're multiplying by. So our common denominator is a 2, an x minus 2, a 3, and a 5. So we're doing that to each thing, and I want to show you what I do if you didn't know what to do on the last problem. 2, an x minus 2, a 3, and a 5. Okay? So I'll reduce with the yellow here. 2's reduce, the x minus 2 reduces, and you're left with 3 times 5 times that 3. So 3 times 3 is 9 times 5 is 45. All right, now, in the next one, the 3 will reduce with the 3, the x minus 2 will reduce with the x minus 2, and you have a 2 times 5 times 5. And that comes out to 5 times 2 is 10, times 5 is 50. And then we have over on the right side, what cancels out? Just the 5's. And what do we have? So let's write this whole thing. 3 times 2 times, well, there's another 3 there, okay, times x minus 2. So 6 times 3 is 18 times x minus 2. On the left, we have a negative 5. On the right, we have 18x minus 36. Add 36, and you get 31 equals 18x. Divide off the 18, and 31/18 is your answer. Okay, number 27. 4 minus 5 over 3x minus 7. That doesn't factor, so that stays the way it is. Equals 4. All right. So I tell you what we're going to do. The easiest way here is you don't have two fractions set equal to each other, so you can cross multiply. But you can make it two fractions set equal to each other by doing what? If we subtract 4. Now remember, that minus sign is on this term, not the 4. So this is a positive 4 here. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. And the minus sign doesn't disappear. I'm going to put it with the 5. You can put it in the top or the bottom. And 4 minus 4 is going to be 0. And wow, look at that. It's looking to be pretty good here. So in this case, if you cross multiplied, boom, boom, there's no solution here. Okay, 0 over a number. Okay, I'll say n. So that's going to be negative 5n equals 0. Okay, that means n must be 0, and 0 over 0 is a no solution. Okay, it's because the x went to 0, the whole denominator, and you can't do that. Let's do number 29. And get ready for those types of things, because you're going to have no solutions. 29. 1 over 2x minus 1 and 4 over 8x minus 4. So hopefully you've learned your lesson. You have two fractions set equal to each other. Cross multiply. And that's 4 times the 2x minus 1. Don't forget to distribute. That's 8x minus 4. So 8x minus 4 is equal to 8x minus 4. So that means infinitely many solutions, because it's the same on both sides. No matter what you put on the left, it's going to work on the right. Okay, so if you solve for x here, you get 0 equals 0. And that's infinitely many. All right, let's move on. 31. On this one, you have multiple terms. The y squared minus 4, you need to do y minus 2y plus 2. That's the difference of squares. So you should write it like that, especially when you're looking for all the factors when you're adding and subtracting fractions. And we are adding and subtracting fractions here. So now let's multiply by the common denominator, which is y minus 2 and y plus 2. So I'm going to multiply the top by that, which is going to be the same thing as what I have in the denominator there. I'm going to multiply the top by y minus 2y plus 2 and y minus 2y plus 2. And what happens is the y plus 2's reduce on that one, and the y minus 2's reduce with this one. And we end up with 7 minus 4y plus 8. And why is it plus 8? Because that's a minus 4 or a plus negative 4. Remember, your minus signs don't disappear. They become negatives when you distribute. And on the right, we have 5y plus 10. And I'm going to put the y's on the right just because, no big deal. And what I have left on the left side, don't say that it's negative 1. The negative is on the 4y. You have a positive 7 and a positive 8. That's 15. Equals 9y plus 10. Subtract 10. 5 equals 9y. Divide off the 9. So y equals 5/9. Next. Oops. I need those. Okay. 33. X plus 3 cubed minus 3x minus 1 squared equals x cubed plus 4. Okay, now, you can know the formulas for the cubes, but you're just as fast to multiply it out and then solve. So x plus 3 times x plus 3 times x plus 3. So the first one is x squared plus 6x plus 9 times the final x plus 3. All right, so we distribute x cubed plus 3x squared plus 6x squared plus 18x. That's an 18. Plus 9x plus 27. And we get x cubed plus 9x squared and plus 27x plus 27. That's the first part. The 3x minus 1 squared. So this is a big minus here. 3x minus 1 and 3x minus 1. You get 9x squared minus 6x plus 1. But this is a big minus sign here. You have to distribute it through what you have. So this becomes a minus 9x squared, a plus 6x, and a minus 1. And on the right side, you have x cubed plus 4. Okay, so subtract x cubes. Those are gone. Yay. Subtract 4. And probably should have put all these together first. So what do we have here? The 9x squared minus the 9x squared is gone. 27x and 6x is 33x. And 27 minus 1 is 26. So if we subtract 4 on the right, we got to subtract 4 here. That's 33x plus 22 equals 0. Subtract 22 back to the other side. You get 33x equals negative 22. Divide off the 33. And x equals negative 2/3. They're both divisible by 11. So negative 2/3 for number 33. Moving on. Number 35. 9x minus 3x minus 1 equals 2 plus 3 over 3x minus 1. Okay. Again, you can't cross multiply. There's more than one term on the right side. So we're going to multiply by a common denominator. So stop this and do this. Figure it out. See if you can do it. What are you multiplying by? And show me the next step. I'm moving on. Multiply everything by 3x minus 1. And the 3x minus 1 cancels there. It reduces there. So we have 9x equals, distribute the 2, 6x minus 2. Distribute 3, except there's nothing to distribute, so it's just plus 3. So subtract 6x. Put these two together. You get 3x equals 1. Divide off the 3. X equals 1/3. Okay, so just to mention something again, just to remind you, technically you're supposed to keep checking these answers. Yes, this is the solution, but there really is not a solution to this. If you plug 1/3 in, you're going to get a 0 in your denominator, and it doesn't work. Okay, so that just means it's an extraneous solution. You can get a solution, but it doesn't work. All right, let's do number 37. I'm more interested in getting you to that point. Hopefully at some point you start to say, will this work? You're going to have to eventually. So again, 1 over x plus 4 plus 3 over x minus 4. Difference of squares, possibly. And look at the last one, 3x plus 8 over the difference of squares, which is x minus 4, x plus 4. So if we multiply everything by that common denominator, x minus 4, x plus 4. X minus 4, x plus 4, x minus 4, x plus 4. And the same thing over here, x minus 4, x plus 4. We can reduce the x plus 4s. Oops, I hit the wrong one. So that really is x minus 4 that's left over. So this is x minus 4 on the top, times 1 is x minus 4. And then the x minus 4s will cancel in the second one, but now you have distribution, 3x plus 12. And the whole denominator reduces on the right side, so you're left with 3x plus 8. So see how nice it is after you do this? Understand how to remove your denominator. So we have 4x on the left plus 8 equals 3x plus 8. And that gives us minus 3x minus the 8. And we get 1x equals 0. So x is equal to 0. That's not a solution. It's not a solution. 0 is a solution is what I'm trying to say. 4 cannot be a solution, and negative 4 cannot be a solution. Okay, now moving on. 39. We're going to notice that you have a difference of squares there. That's the x minus 2x plus 2. So try to start doing these things. Notice that number 41 is the same way. Try to do this a little bit faster. What are you multiplying by? We're multiplying by x plus 2 over x minus 2. X plus 2 times x minus 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this without writing it all out. The x plus 2's will cancel, and I'm left with 4 times the x minus 2. If I multiply the top on the middle one, 1 over x minus 2, by the common denominator, the only thing left would be 1 times x plus 2. And on the right side, the denominators would reduce out, so I get 5x minus 6. And if you're unsure of what I just said, go back and rewatch the last problem. Okay? So now we get 4x minus 8, x plus 2, 5x minus 6. So we have 5x on the right and 5x on the left. If we subtracted 5x, all the x's are gone. And you get negative 8 plus 2 equals negative 6. Negative 6 equals negative 6. And yes, it does. Negative 6 does equal negative 6. Or however you solved it, okay? You could have said, taken this one right here and said, hey, this is, if we combine these, that's 5x and a minus 6, and that equals the right side, which is 5x minus 6. The second that the left and the right side are equal to each other, identical, then it's infinitely many solutions. That's what it means. It's no solution if you end up with something like this, -1 equals 5. Well, no, -1 doesn't equal 5. So that would have been a no solution. All right, 41. So on this one, it's the same thing. I'm not gonna write it all out. So the top is gonna end up being 2 times the 2x minus 1. And the middle one's gonna be 3 times the 2x plus 1. And the right side, the 4x squared minus 1, again, that is your difference of squares, 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. So those would reduce out, leaving just the negative 2x plus 7 again. Now distribute and figure this out. That's 4x minus 2. Don't forget to distribute the negative with this. Minus 6x minus 3 equals negative 2x plus 7. 4x minus 6 is minus 2x. Negative 2 minus 3 is minus 5. And look at what we have here. If I add 2x to the left or to the right, I get negative 5 equals 7. So no solution, just like what I was saying in the last problem. Okay, let's get out of this. Notice, think about what you're going to do here. There's 2 fractions, okay? You could cross multiply or multiply everything by the common denominator. It's going to be the same thing. So if I cross multiply, that's x squared minus 16. Cross multiply here, that's x minus 4 times x plus 4. Now you could have reduced first, but we'll just keep going with the way we've been doing things. So x squared minus 16 is x minus 4, x plus 4. And look at that, it's equal to the same on the other side. So this is infinitely many solutions. And remember, as always, x can't be negative 4. You have to continue to look at your denominators and make sure that what you're saying is right. Everything will work except you can't put 4 into your answer key. All right, next. Okay, for what value of c is the number a solution of the equation? So all you're doing here is plugging in negative 2 to the equation and solving for c. So 4 times negative 2 plus 1 plus 2c equals 5c minus 3 times negative 2 plus 6. So a equals negative 2. So if a is a solution, that means that's your x value. Now it wants to know what c would be when you put negative 2 in for x. That's all you're doing. Okay, so negative 8 plus 1 plus 2c equals 5c plus 6 plus 6. So that's negative 7 plus 2c, and that's 5c plus 12. Okay, and then from here, let's add 7 and subtract 5c. So what do we have? Negative 3c equals 19, and divide off the negative 3. So c would have to be negative 19 thirds if a is a solution. If a equals negative 2 is a solution. Next. So solve for h. So any equation I give you, this is just the equation of an area of a triangle. You can solve for anything if you follow the processes. So when you get h by itself, it's attached by those 2 things. If you have a fraction, like 1/2, just multiply by 2. And then you have 2a equals bh. And then what do? We divide off the b. And we end up with h equals 2a over b. And that's it.